I swear, whenever my son Mark says, "Mom, it's just a normal family dinner," I already know something insane is about to go down. And this time? Oh, this one topped the charts. I should have trusted my gut, but you know how it is. Moms keep trying to give their kids the benefit of the doubt, even after they've grown up and married someone who thinks respect is optional. Anyway, that evening started with Mark calling me, sounding way too cheerful for someone planning a simple dinner. "Mom, come on," he said, acting like he was inviting me to a picnic. "It's just my in-laws, my wife, my siblings-in-law, nothing crazy." That nothing crazy turned into 12 people showing up. 12. I walked into that restaurant and almost turned right back around. I'm talking cousins, uncles, someone's neighbor, their dog. Okay, not literally the dog, but close enough. The table was so long, it looked like we were hosting a medieval feast. And everyone was already ordering cocktails, appetizers, premium steaks, seafood platters that looked like they crawled straight out of a luxury cruise, desserts before dinner, the whole 9 yards. I didn't even sit down yet, and they had already racked up what looked like a small mortgage. Mark gave me that awkward smile, the "please don't embarrass me" smile, and pulled out a chair. "Mom, sit. Relax. Enjoy," he said. Relax with this crew? Yeah, okay. His wife, Ashley, was on her phone, scrolling through Instagram, like she was too bored to even exist. Her siblings were loud. Her parents acted like the place belonged to them, and not one person said, "Hey, maybe we shouldn't order half the menu." But I stayed polite. I asked for a small meal, something simple. I didn't want to make a scene. I didn't even think I needed to. I thought this would be just another dinner where I quietly pay my portion and leave. But, oh no, they had a whole different plan. The food came, the noise grew louder, and the bill kept getting bigger. I saw the waiter's face every time he brought out a new dish. Even he knew this was getting out of control. By the time dessert landed on the table, I noticed Ashley giving Mark little looks. The kind of looks that say, "Get ready, she's paying." And that's when it clicked. This wasn't a family dinner. This was a setup. Ashley leaned forward, fake smiling, like she was hosting a TV show. "So, sweetie, are you paying with cash or card?" Just like that. No shame, no hesitation, no respect. She said it like I wasn't her husband's mother, but her personal walking ATM. I swear, the whole table went quiet. Even the waiter froze. I felt something inside me shift. Not anger, not humiliation, but this sharp, calm clarity. The kind that hits you when you realize the people across from you don't see you as a person, just a paycheck. I opened my wallet slowly, not breaking eye contact. They all leaned in, expecting me to swipe my card like some obedient bank machine. But what happened next? Well, let's just say none of them were ready for it. Not Mark, not Ashley, definitely not her freeloading family. And that moment, the moment right after I opened my wallet, is where everything flipped upside down. It was the moment that left the entire table shocked, speechless, and scrambling. Because I wasn't the one paying. And I wasn't the one walking out embarrassed. They were. And this was only the beginning. The second I opened my wallet, Everybody leaned in like they were watching the season finale of some drama show. Ashley was already smirking, like she was imagining herself bragging later about how Mark's mom covered everything again. Her mom, Linda, actually adjusted her glasses, ready to inspect the card I'd pull out. And her dad leaned back in his chair like a man who knew he was eating free. Cute. Real cute. I looked at the bill inside that little black folder. $8,000. For one night, one dinner, one family bonding moment, as Mark liked to call it. They weren't bonding, they were leeching. I let out a small laugh, just one, and that laugh alone made Ashley shift in her seat, like she felt a chill. "You okay?" she asked. "Oh, sweetheart," I said, calm as ice. "I'm more than okay." I set my wallet down on the table very gently, not slamming it, not making a scene, just a soft, confident placement that instantly made everyone nervous. People fear loud anger, but quiet confidence, that hits way harder. Mark cleared his throat. "Mom, you did bring your card, right?" I tilted my head. "Why?" The whole table froze. Ashley blinked. To pay? Who else would be paying? Everyone here is family." I raised an eyebrow. "Oh? Then why didn't any of you grab the bill first?" The siblings-in-law suddenly found their phones extremely interesting. Her parents began adjusting their cutlery like it was the most fascinating thing on earth. Mark looked like he wanted to melt into the floor. I leaned back. "I just want to understand why you invited 12 people, ordered half the Atlantic Ocean, and automatically assumed I'd foot the bill." Ashley rolled her eyes, real dramatic. "Mrs. Collins, don't make this weird. You always pay. You know that." I smiled. "Yeah, I used to." A soft, "What?" slid out of Mark's mouth. I turned the bill toward Ashley. $8,000 for a normal dinner? Y'all must think my bank account grows like weeds. Ashley sucked her teeth. "Look, let's not drag this out. Just pay so we can go." The audacity, the delusion, the entitlement. I snapped the bill folder shut. Actually, nope. The whole table jolted. Ashley laughed awkwardly. "You're funny." "I'm not joking," I said. "I'm not paying a single cent." Her mom gasped like I'd slapped her soul. Mark looked stunned. Ashley's brows shot up so high they probably saw heaven. One of her brothers choked on his water. "Excuse me?" Ashley whispered. "You heard me," I said. "If y'all wanted to throw a party, you should have brought your own wallets." Ashley immediately turned to Mark. "Say something! Your mother is humiliating us!" Mark opened his mouth, then shut it again. He knew damn well that I had a point, a big one, but he was too scared of causing drama with his wife. Typical. Ashley's dad coughed. "Well, ma'am, it's just, you usually take care of these things." "I used to," I said again. "Back when people treated me with respect, not like an ATM machine with arthritis," Ashley snapped. "So what, now you're broke?" I chuckled. "No, actually, I did something pretty smart recently." Ashley crossed her arms. "Like what?" I leaned in, lowering my voice just a bit. "I moved my money." Everyone blinked. Ashley squinted. "Moved? Your money?" "Mm-hmm." I tapped my wallet. New card, new bank, new everything. Mark looked confused. Why didn't you tell me? Because, I said, the only time you talk to me lately is when you need something from me. That one hit him so hard, he actually flinched. Ashley scoffed. So what? You think hiding your money is cute? You're still paying for this. You don't have a choice. I smiled like I had all the power in the world, because at that moment, I really did. Actually, I said, I have every choice. Then I waved the waiter over. He came rushing, probably expecting my card. Yes, ma'am? I pointed at Ashley. Give the bill to her. Ashley's jaw dropped so hard it almost hit the table. What? Are you out of your mind? The waiter awkwardly held the folder out. Ashley moved her hands behind her back like she was guarding a secret treasure. She hissed, Mrs. Collins, stop playing. We don't have that kind of money on us. I shrugged. Should have thought of that before ordering food like you were feeding a small village. Meanwhile, her parents started whisper fighting with her siblings, trying to figure out if anyone had a credit card that wouldn't decline instantly. Mark finally spoke up, quiet but panicked. Mom, seriously, what are you doing? Teaching you, I said, what happens when you let your wife treat me like garbage. Ashley slammed her hand on the table. You can't do this. Oh, baby, I already did. They all stared at me with these big, stunned eyes, like they couldn't believe I wasn't folding under pressure. But that's the thing. When people push you long enough, the silence eventually breaks. Ashley tried one more time. Just pay it. We'll pay you back. I laughed, a real laugh this time. If y'all had $8,000, you wouldn't be begging me. The waiter shifted awkwardly. So, who's paying? Ashley looked around the table, like a woman abandoned on a desert island. Ugh, fine. Dad, give me your card. He hesitated. Mine has a limit. Then gimme Mom's. Her mom clutched her purse like it was her newborn baby. No. Ashley screeched, Oh my God! The whole restaurant was watching now, but I didn't care. I stood up, grabbed my purse, and smoothed my jacket. Good luck, y'all, I said sweetly. Let me know how that bill situation works out. And then I walked out. Calm, slow, powerful. The moment I stepped outside, I heard Ashley yell inside the restaurant. Mark, do something! But that was no longer my concern. They wanted me to pay. They assumed I'd always pay. And now, their little scheme was about to fall apart. And I was just getting started. When I stepped out of that restaurant, the night air hit me like freedom. Crisp, calm, and a whole lot quieter than the chaos I just left behind. I could still hear Ashley yelling inside, her voice bouncing off the walls like she owned the place. Part of me wanted to turn back just to watch the meltdown. But nah, I'd given those people enough of my time. I walked toward the parking lot, feeling lighter than I had in years. Isn't it wild how dropping one burden suddenly makes your whole body feel brand new? My purse wasn't heavy, but the weight of years of being used definitely was. And tonight, I finally set that weight down. As I reached my car, my phone started buzzing like it owed someone money. I didn't even have to check to know who it was. Mark, my son who conveniently stayed quiet while his wife tried to turn me into a walking debit card. I let it ring. Then it rang again. And again. Finally, I answered, mostly because leaving him hanging too long would just make him show up at my house, and I wasn't in the mood. Mom, he said, sounding breathless, like he'd just run a marathon inside the restaurant. "Where are you?" "In my car," I said, unlocking the door. "Heading home." "Mom, you can't just leave. Ashley is freaking out." "Mm-hmm," I said casually. "Sounds like a personal problem." "Mom, seriously." He lowered his voice. "They don't have enough money to cover the bill." I smirked. "Then maybe they shouldn't order food like they do." "You're not being fair." That stopped me mid-step. Not being fair? I leaned against my car. "Mark, tell me something. When Ashley told me to just pay because I always do, did you think that was fair?" Silence. Heavy silence. The kind that tells you the answer loud and clear. "Look," he finally said. "It's messy right now. Just help us out this once." "You said us," I interrupted. "But it's not us, Mark. It's them. It's her family. The people who drain me every time I see them." "It's not like that," he muttered. "Oh? Let me refresh your memory." I ticked off on my fingers. Birthdays, I pay. Holidays, I pay. Family dinners, I pay. Vacations, somehow that became my responsibility too. He stayed quiet. "And you've never said anything," I added. "Not once." His voice softened. "Mom, I didn't know how to handle it." "I get that," I said. "But here's the thing. I'm done handling it for you." Before he could argue, someone snatched the phone from him. Ashley, of course. "Mrs. Collins," she said, trying to sound calm but failing miserably. "Let's cut the drama. Just come back inside and swipe the card." I almost laughed. "Girl, you must have hit your head on the dessert tray." "Why are you being ridiculous?" "Why are you being entitled?" I shot back. $8,000 for dinner. Who do y'all think you are, Kardashians?" She gasped. "Are you calling us broke?" I didn't hesitate. "No, sweetheart. I'm calling you irresponsible." She went silent, offended, confused, insulted. The whole emotional buffet. Then she said it. The one line that made everything crystal clear. "You're Mark's mom. It's your job to support us." "Job? Job?" I actually laughed. "Oh, honey, that's where you got life twisted. Being a mom is my role. Funding your lifestyle, not my job." "You can't do this to us," she snapped. "I already did." "Just pay it, please. My parents are embarrassed." "Good," I said. "They should be." Right then, someone in the background started arguing. Probably her dad. I even heard someone say, "I told y'all not to order the lobster tower." It was chaos. Beautiful, deserved chaos. Ashley lowered her voice to a whisper. "Mrs. Collins, if you don't pay, we're going to be banned from this place." "Then eat somewhere cheaper," I said. "Might do all of you some good." "You're heartless. You're manipulative." She took a shaky breath. "If you walk away from this, our relation—" She didn't respond. Because she knew the truth. I wasn't the one losing anything here. Finally, she shouted, "Fine, stay gone," and hung up. I stared at my phone for a second, then smiled. Because for once, I wasn't the one apologizing. I wasn't the one bending. And Lord, it felt good. I got into my car, closed the door, and sat in the stillness for a moment. No noise, no pressure, no one expecting anything from me. Just peace. As I drove home, I already knew something big was about to happen. Things like this don't end quietly. People like Ashley don't learn their lesson in one night. But I didn't mind. Because I was finally ready for whatever came next. Let them panic. Let them scramble. Let them face the consequences of treating me like a credit card with legs. Tonight was just the warm-up, and I hadn't even shown them the real twist yet. Man, let me tell you, stepping out of that restaurant felt like walking straight out of a storm and into fresh air. But the storm wasn't done with me yet. Oh no, not even close. I was halfway to my car when I heard fast footsteps behind me. "Linda, wait!" It was my son Mark jogging after me like he finally realized his brain was included in the family plan. He grabbed my arm gently. "Mom, please, don't leave like that. They didn't mean it." I raised an eyebrow. "Baby, your wife looked me dead in the face and asked if I was paying cash or card like I was her freaking ATM. Trust me, they meant exactly what they said." He sighed, rubbing his forehead like the math of basic respect was too advanced. Before I could say another word, guess who strutted up in those 5-inch heels, clacking like a horse on concrete? Yup, Ashley, Miss Are You Paying with Cash or Card herself. She crossed her arms and gave me the fakest smile I've ever seen. "Linda, we didn't mean to offend you. You know how things get when everyone's excited. And, well, you offered to treat us." I blinked slow. "Sweetheart, I literally never said that. Y'all invited me. Not once did the words 'I got the bill' come out of my mouth." She rolled her eyes. Yes, rolled her eyes. Like I was some confused old lady who misread a coupon at Walmart. "Well, it's tradition in our family that the elder pays for group dinners." I laughed so hard my side hurt. "Girl, that ain't tradition. That's manipulation wrapped in cheap perfume." Her smile dropped instantly. Before she could come back with another snarky line, I pulled out the little slip the waiter gave me earlier. The one asking if I wanted the bill charged to my account, or if I'd prefer to leave a card on file. Ashley's eyes zoomed in on that slip like it was a court summons. "Wait, you already have an account with this restaurant?" I smirked. "Not just an account. I practically funded their remodel last year. I know the owners." Mark stiffened. "Mom, why didn't you say anything?" "Because, baby, I don't walk around bragging about money. Only broke people do that." Ashley swallowed. Hard. Her tone softened instantly. "Linda, you know we appreciate you, right? We're just adjusting." I stepped closer. "No, darling, y'all ain't adjusting. You're taking advantage. And tonight, you pushed too far." Right then, my phone buzzed. A message from my broker. "Funds cleared. Transfer complete." I smiled. Ashley noticed. "What was that?" "Oh, nothing, sweetheart. Just life-changing news. You'll find out soon." I walked past them, calm as a Sunday afternoon, unlocked my car, and slid in. I didn't owe them a single explanation, but I knew one thing for sure. The real shock was still on the way, and it was going to shake their whole world. Say the word next when you want part 5, and I'll keep the heat coming with even more length. Aight, buckle up, 'cause this is where everything really starts cooking. I pulled into my driveway, and the whole ride home, I was smiling like I just won a secret lottery. The porch light was glowing, the wind was calm, and for the first time that night, my heart wasn't heavy. But I knew something big was about to shift, 'cause the moment I stepped inside, my phone started blowing up like it owed somebody money. Texts from Mark, missed calls, voicemails from Ashley crying, sniffing, trying her Oscar-winning best to sound concerned. I tossed my purse on the couch and finally answered Mark's call. Mom, listen, something happened at the restaurant. I didn't even sit down. What now? He let out a shaky breath. They brought the check back. Ashley told them you were paying, and the waiter said the system showed you declined charges on your account. I smirked. Oh, I absolutely declined it. On purpose. 2 hours earlier. Mark continued, his voice low. The bill was $8,127, and Ashley's card declined 3 times. I swear I could hear panic sweating through the phone. I kept my voice calm. Well, honey, sounds like a personal problem, not mine. Mom, they're saying we need to come back and settle it tonight. Ashley's parents left early. They didn't pay a dime. Of course they didn't. Before I could respond, I heard rustling. Then Ashley snatched the phone. Linda, you can't do this to us. They embarrassed me in front of everyone. I raised my eyebrow even though she couldn't see it. Oh, sweetie, you embarrassed yourself. I'm not responsible for you trying to live champagne life on a lemonade budget. She gasped loud enough to echo through the line. You're rich! Why are you acting like this when it's pocket change to you? 'Cause I don't fund disrespect, that's why. There was a long, dead silence. Then I added real slow. And since you're so curious about my money, let me help you out. I walked over to my desk drawer, pulled out the envelope I'd been saving for the right moment, and tapped it against my palm. You asked earlier if I was paying with cash or card, right? Treating me like some walking debit machine. Ashley didn't say a word. Good. She was finally learning. Well, baby, I ain't paying with cash, and I ain't paying with card. I paused for dramatic effect, then delivered the punch, 'cause I don't own that restaurant anymore. She stuttered. Heh? I sold it yesterday, among other things. What? Oh, yeah. That message I got outside, it wasn't a coupon. It was a notification that the sale finalized. I leaned back against the counter, enjoying the moment. They bought everything. My 40% equity stake for $200 million. Ashley's breath hitched so hard she sounded like she swallowed air wrong. Mark whispered, Mom, you sold your company? Nope, I corrected. I sold one of my companies. Silence. Then more silence. Then Ashley finally sputtered. Why didn't you tell us? Because y'all treat me like a burden instead of the woman who built an empire. I could practically hear her sliding down the wall in shock. Then I ended the call with the calmest voice ever. Y'all go handle that bill. You ordered it. You can pay for it. And I hung up. I stood there in the kitchen making myself a slow cup of tea, knowing that the ripple effect of this night was going to rock their whole world. And trust me, the real drama was still just warming up. I woke up the next morning feeling like a whole new woman. Light, calm, zero stress. 'Cause when you stop letting people treat you like an ATM with wrinkles, life hits different. But oh, honey, while I was peaceful, my son and his wife were going through a Category 5 meltdown. Right around 8 a.m., I heard frantic banging on my front door, like somebody was trying to collect a debt from the 1800s. I opened the door slow, holding my coffee like a queen. There they were. Mark looking exhausted. Ashley looking like she cried off half her face. Both of them looking like they hadn't slept a single second. Ashley pushed her way in without asking, as usual. Linda, we need to talk. I took a sip of my coffee. Baby, take a breath before you pass out on my rug. She ignored that. That restaurant humiliated us. They made us sign a liability form and told us if we don't pay the $8,000 in 48 hours, they'll take legal action. Oh, wow, I said casually. Y'all must have had a real cute night. Ashley threw her hands up. You caused this. Correction, I said. You ordered it. You showed off. You tried to make me pay for 12 grown adults who ain't even my blood. That's why you're in this mess. Mark stepped forward, his voice tight. Mom, why didn't you tell us you sold the place? Why didn't you say anything? I turned to him, slow, steady, soft. Because every time I try to talk about business, you two treat me like some forgetful old lady who should just relax and enjoy her retirement. You never ask what I'm working on. You never take me serious. Ashley blinked fast. But you could have just told us you were rich. I raised an eyebrow. Told you? Sweetheart, you knew I had money. You just assumed it was yours. Her mouth dropped open. And the way you talked to me? I continued. The little digs, the sarcasm, the go ahead and pay, she won't mind comments. Y'all acted like my wallet was married to you, not me. Ashley sank onto the couch, her voice breaking. We can't pay that bill. We're already behind on payments. Mark's credit cards are maxed. My parents never help. We needed you to cover it. Ah, there it was. The real truth. They weren't being generous inviting me. They weren't trying to include me. They were desperate for a free meal. I set my coffee down and looked them both dead in the eye. Well, I hope last night taught y'all something important. Mark swallowed. What? I smiled. That I'm your mother, not your bank. Ashley burst into tears, covering her face. Mark sighed, rubbing his temples. Mom, what are we going to do? I shrugged like it was nothing. You're adults. You'll figure it out. Ashley's head snapped up. So you're just going to let us drown? I leaned slightly forward and said, Sweetheart, y'all didn't drown. You jumped. Silence washed over the room. Then I delivered the final hit. And if y'all think last night was the end of this story, I tapped my fingers on the table. You're wrong, 'cause there's one more secret I haven't told you yet. Sweat. Ashley froze. Mark looked confused. Both of them stared at me like I was about to drop a nuke. And oh, honey, I was. Ashley froze mid-sob. Mark stopped pacing like someone had pressed pause on him. Both of them stared at me with the same exact expression. Pure, straight-up fear. I leaned back in my chair, crossed my legs, and let the silence cook them a little. Sometimes, the quiet hits harder than the yelling. Mark finally cracked. Mom, what secret? What are you talking about? I lifted one eyebrow. Oh, now y'all want to hear me out? Ashley sniffed. Please, we're already drowning. Don't make this worse. I took a slow breath and spoke calmly. Y'all know about the restaurant bill. Y'all know I sold my company. But what you don't know is the money from that sale wasn't just a random windfall. Mark frowned. What do you mean? I leaned forward. It was a test. Both of their heads snapped up. A test? Ashley squawked. What kind of... I held up a finger. Tone. She shut up immediately. I continued, voice steady and sharp. For the past 8 months, I've been updating my trust fund and assets. I wanted to see who really respected me. And who only respected what I could pay for. Mark's eyes widened. Mom, you wouldn't... Oh, I would. I nodded. And I did. Ashley inhaled sharply. What does that mean? It means, I said, I had to decide who deserved to be included in the trust and who didn't. Ashley blinked fast. You changed the beneficiaries? I did. Mark stepped closer, panic rising in his voice. So who's getting everything? Me? Emily? Who? I cut him off. You're asking the wrong question. Then I delivered the blow. The real question is, were you ever going to get anything acting the way you two behave? Ashley went pale. Mark looked like he was about to throw up. I wasn't done. You two humiliated me in that restaurant. You've treated me like a debit machine with legs for years. You never ask about my life. You never visit unless you need something. You don't help, don't check in, don't show basic respect. And yesterday? I laughed once, cold. Yesterday, you didn't even invite me to dinner. You invited my wallet. Ashley stammered. We didn't mean. You did mean it, I snapped. And I'm sick of pretending y'all don't. The room went dead still. Then I dropped the real secret. So yes, I changed the trust. And no, your names aren't on it anymore. Ashley gasped, loud and dramatic, like she was auditioning for a telenovela. Mark staggered back like he'd been punched. Mom, please. We were stressed. We made mistakes. You can't do this. Oh, I can, I said. And I already did. Ashley stood up suddenly. You're punishing us because of one night? One mistake? Baby, I said softly. This wasn't one night. This was the final straw. Ashley's lip trembled. So who gets everything then? Your sister? Your cousins? Who? I took a slow sip of my coffee. That's none of your business. Ashley dropped to her knees. Literally, just like my daughter-in-law from that last story. Honestly, these girls all take the same class somewhere. Please, we'll change. We'll do better. Don't cut us off. Mark squeezed his eyes shut. Mom, I'm sorry. I really am. I should have stood up for you more. I softened a little, but not enough to let them slide. I appreciate the apology. I do. But respect isn't something you say once. It's something you show every single day. Ashley rocked back on her heels. So, what now? I stood up. Now? Y'all go home. You figure out how to pay your own bills. You learn how to treat people who raised you. They said nothing. And maybe someday, if your behavior truly changes, we'll talk again. Ashley cried harder. Mark wiped his face, defeated. And together, they walked out of my house, quiet, for the first time in their lives. When the door finally closed behind them, I let out a long breath. I wasn't angry. I wasn't hurt. I was free. But this story wasn't done yet. Because that trust fund, that secret beneficiary, that unexpected twist, oh, sweetheart, that's coming next. I sat alone in my living room for a minute, just letting the quiet settle. For the first time in a long time, the house didn't feel heavy, didn't feel used, didn't feel like my wallet was living here instead of me. But I knew it wasn't over. Not until the truth came out. Not until the final card was played. A few hours later, right when the sun dipped low, my phone buzzed. It was Mark. Mom, can we please talk? Just 5 minutes. I stared at the message for a moment. Then I typed back, "Come alone." 20 minutes later, he knocked. I opened the door and he looked different. Not angry, not entitled, just tired, embarrassed, human. He stepped inside quietly. "Mom, I didn't know Ashley talked to you like that. I didn't know that dinner went that way. I swear I didn't." I raised an eyebrow. "Then you weren't paying attention." He nodded, accepting the hit. "You're right," he said. "I wasn't. I should have been." I motioned for him to sit, and he did, rubbing his hands together, like he was trying to keep them warm. "Mom, please don't cut me out of your life. I know we messed up. I know Ashley messed up worse. But I don't want to lose you." I studied him, really studied him. My son. My baby, the same kid who used to fall asleep on my chest after school. The same kid I worked 3 jobs to raise. The same kid who thought I hung the moon. I sighed. "Mark, this isn't about the money. It never was. It's about respect. Basic human decency." He swallowed. "I get that now. I really do. And if you'll let me, I'll fix this." I leaned back. "That depends." He looked up sharply. "On what?" "On whether you can hear the truth without blowing up." He straightened. "Say it." I nodded. "Good. Because here's the real reason I changed the trust." I paused and dropped the final reveal. "The beneficiary is your daughter." Mark froze. "My granddaughter." Little Ellie, only 8 years old, has been the only person in that entire family who shows me pure, unconditional love. She hugs me like she means it. She talks to me like I matter. She doesn't care about money. She cares about me. Mark blinked fast. "Ellie, you put everything in her name?" "Yes," I said softly. "And until she turns 18, the trustee won't be you. It'll be someone responsible." He exhaled slow. "Who?" I smiled. "Emily, your sister." Mark pressed his hands against his forehead, overwhelmed. "Mom, Ashley's gonna lose her mind." "She already did," I said. "Now she can sit with her consequences." He didn't argue. After a long moment, he whispered, "Thank you." I tilted my head. "For what?" "For trusting Ellie. For not giving up on me. For giving me a chance to do better." I nodded. "Then prove it. Show me, don't just say it." He stood up, walked over, and hugged me. Not a quick, guilty hug. A real one. "Mom," he murmured, "I'm sorry for everything." And for the first time in a long time, I believed him. When he left, the house felt warm again. Not because of the money, not because of revenge, but because I knew, finally, that I had taken my life back. And the best part? Ellie, my sweet girl,